how did you embrace the new lifestyle? So obviously you had a mourning period of,
Yeah,
oh my God, what now?
yeah, yeah,
It's a
yeah, of
bit of
course.
depression and a bit of everything, just, a dark period, let's call it that.
Yeah.
And then how did you, okay, regroup and be like, okay, I'm gonna try this direction now? How did that work?
To be honest, my my main career was in sales.
Right.
Okay, I did the academic thing. Then I bought my first house. I had a mortgage. The money as a part-time lecturer wasn't enough. I had a student loan as well to pay. So I had to start working. And initially, I worked for a company in Haywood Heath, and I was working days and nights. So there were 3 years of my life. I was working 56 hours a week because I was working 2 long day shifts and then 3 long night shifts after, because I had to pay off, bills and stuff. So that kind of like, kept it real, because to be honest, those 3 years I was just sleeping, eating, and going to work. And that
Yeah.
was life. After what happened, I kind of was, I was working there as a customer service agent. And then I got my first job here in Brighton, and it was in sales. And I did it for 6 months so I can move in the same company from customer service, from sales to customer service again. But I was good, and I was really good. And then, one thing, so it was really weird with sales, because being good, and I think acting plays a great role in to be able to, communicate the product to someone, and,
Yeah.
do the demand and sell it successfully. And because sales is communication as well.
Well, yeah, it's listening and communicating, reading the person, and then
Exactly. So it just kind of, pulled me in. So I was, a lead generator. After that, I was promoted into a sales advisor. Then I became a senior sales advisor. Then I was promoted to become an account manager, and actually not sell, but manage brokers that sold. And then after that, I went into sales training for a very big company, and I was training new people and existing staff. And then I went into another company, and it was, I think it was a career. It was that was good at it. I love people, and I love the fact of speaking with people, understanding them, and actually, give them some value, helping them with what I was saying. And
hmm.
there were cases with, customers. I would actually even talk, with brokers later on. We would have conversations about personal issues after speaking about the product and how they would sell it. So communication. So that kept me, like, feeling that, that is part of acting, and I applied that in my jobs. I loved sales training because I loved, putting together the training sessions and then performing them, because you perform doing that. So
Yeah,
that was kind of,
you kind of you were devising your own little play,
it's,
basically.
it's your little show. It's your little 40-minute, 1 hour show. So I love that as well. So I, there were elements in those jobs that were not acting, but there were elements from the acting and skills I, you know, drew upon from there.
Hmm.
Uh, so I loved my job. To be honest, until I got cancer, although acting was always in the back of my head, I was. If I hadn't had cancer, I would still be doing that sort of job, probably in the company I was, because they were great. Uh, so it was okay. It was never, but it was always. You see, it was waking up in the morning, Silas. Waking up in the morning, and thinking just for a while, who am I? Who am I now? Because although I was doing a decent job, and it was, everything is fine, but it wasn't really who I was, and I would have to deal with it in moments in time, like, who am I? I cannot recognize this person. You know, who that person in their 20s that were, want to do, or had all these dreams to achieve all this stuff, with their art. So yeah, I don't know. So I adapted pretty well because brought things in there, but at the same
Yeah, so you
time,
were still true to parts of you, but not completely, is what you.
not completely. There was these times in between things that I was doing where I was thinking, who am I? And I write poems, so that was one way of expressing myself through art. So what I did, I was writing. I don't know if it's good or bad poetry, but but I've been writing poems for many,
Okay,
many
it's
years.
poetry. Fuck it,
Yeah,
it's
poetry.
yours. There's no reason to put labels on it that way.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so it's, I try to bring in things that, would make me be as true to myself as possible. But then again, I wasn't really true to myself, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, but you were like that's fascinating. You were trying to find that balance between, like there's that little voice inside going, "There's you're not doing exactly what you need to be doing."
exactly, Silas. Exactly that.
So you
And
were
little,
trying to like
not
navigate.
exactly. You're not who you said you'd be when you were 20 years old, or 25, or even
Yeah.
30. You're not who you said you'd be. You're something else, but you're not that. And it's always there. It comes in between, and it makes you feel sad, and it makes you feel a bit bitter. It makes you feel like, oh gosh, I went through life being something good, but which is not really me.
Mm.
And that, it's so yeah, it's a balancing act, really.
Yeah, that's something like it's actually quite a valuable lesson because I think we're all trying to find a balance tonight between who we are and what the world wants us to be, and at some point you have to put your foot down. But hopefully, like ideally, you find who you are and then you try to build the world around it so you can make it work. But it's always, there's a give and take. It's not just, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose in this give and take. Sometimes you give too much, sometimes you don't get enough. It's one
How,
of those things.
do you do anything else besides acting, Silas? Do you have
Of
another job?
course, I'm also a waiter. I'm also, that's my day job at the moment. But
Okay.
I'm also like I'm trying to like get as many things going creatively, so hopefully everything's around the same industry, so I can start making a living mostly in the industry.
How do you balance that? And how do you balance, leaving the role of the stand-up comedian, actor, and becoming a waiter? And then how do you do this? How do
I'm
you
gonna
find it?
answer that question after a little break because we got less than a minute in the Zoom call, so I'm gonna
Oh,
get
okay.
back to you.
Oh gosh.
No,
Okay.
with you back in a minute. Thank you.
Okay. 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 No worries. No worries.
Welcome back. That was actually quick. I didn't even
Oh.
been talking for like 37 minutes and it just flew by. Um, so to answer your question, which was how do I balance, working in hospitality with the acting? So basically, I kind of do the same thing which you did, which was I focus on the stuff in hospitality that I quite enjoy. So I do love, interacting with the customers. I try to crack jokes. There is a more of a limit. It's like you're performing under strict guidelines of like there's certain topics I will not go into because I don't want to get fired and I don't want to upset a customer.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'll normally try to get a read of the table and then joke about things that they've either made a joke about or like to give you the wildest example I've had one customer this past week who I asked him just to like banter. I was like, what was the craziest gift you've bought for Christmas?
Yeah.
And it was a couple, and the guy just said, well, we bought handcuffs for the bedroom. And I was like,
Really?
okay, yeah, I was literally like, okay, and obviously the lady in the couple, she was like, oh. So I'm like, I'm just gonna walk away. So I walk away with the plates. As I go, with the plates, a joke occurs to me. So I'll go back and I just go to the guy. By the way, sir, that is a very odd gift to buy for your parents. And he started laughing, and I was like, whew, you know,
Okay, cool.
he set the tone. I would not have made the joke.
Exactly. It's not your fault, Silas. Exactly. You set the tone there.
It's like if you're gonna set it up, I have to, then I don't have to, but I want to add to it. But yeah, so it's things like that of like reading your table and interacting. And sometimes you don't get to make jokes because someone's like, yes, thank you, no. But like you go in and they start leaning away, you're like, okay, you're not comfortable with people around you. So but yeah, it's literally breaking it down to the essentials and kind of like what are the aspects of this job that I enjoy doing, and I try to do as much of that as I can, you know.
Yep.
Also I find that I do like physical activity. So if I'm on the bar, I kind of focus on, it's like a workout. So I just focus on that aspect of it. So yeah, it's things like that of like making it work for you. But I always have in my back of my head the thought of like this is helping me, for get into acting. So this is funding me until I manage to go into acting. So there's always that. It's not like this is my life going forward.
Yeah. Yeah. No, no, I'm with you. Look, it's the same, with me. Well, they're not the same, but I was doing all these things that I was doing. One thing I forgot to say: a great motivation for not being an actor was that I had a mortgage, and I
Yeah.
had, okay. So when your bills are up
Yeah,
to
yeah,
really
yeah.
high level, you have no choice. And I was in sales. Their commission, they give you the basic salary, which was quite good, and then I earned a lot of commission on top. So it was to sustain my lifestyle here. Now I don't have a mortgage anymore, so that's another reason why I decide that now is a good time to actually try and get back into it.
Yeah.